The newest update has tons of positive changes, and somehow it feels worse than ever to play for a few reasons. The first would be the intentional changes that lead to less choice of variety or less meaningful choice in what you can use in your missions. Then you have the bugs that are really bad. I'm talking patrols feel worse than ever in terms of how many are happening. And we have some hidden things that happen, which is fine, kind of, except for the hidden nerfs. The recoilless rifle takes 25% longer to reload, including the base reload speed and the reload cancel. Wow. Could be an accident, but I don't know. Arrowhead, it's hard to trust you guys. You're little rascally rabbits. Now for the intentional changes. We now have gunship patrols. You can one-tap...
Helldiver lost. Sending replacement.
Huh. That's pretty interesting. That wouldn't be a big deal, except most weapons are really bad at taking out gunships. And it's more than just one gunship, two gunships. There's up to 5 gunships in one patrol, and these patrols seem to be spawning at a time frame that's not linked in any way, shape, or form to the regular patrol time. So you can have a patrol of devastators and robots and whatever, and a patrol of gunships at the same time. So if you're a person using a machine gun, you're dead. If you're using a stalwart, you're dead. If you're not using the AMR, the autocannon, or the laser cannon, you probably won't have a good time. Other things can kill them, but when you have 5 gunships and your teammates are the VeggieTale crew, they don't know how to hit their shots, which is fine, but it happens. You have to be the person to take things out. Or you're going to get aimbotted by the gunships that now seem to have much better accuracy with the rockets. Rockets do more damage, knock you in the air, way higher, ragdoll you like crazy. There's no way I just get here and this guy's tossing in clussies. Then we have the bug side, which is with a similar issue. Not the Shriekers. Instead, it's the Charger Behemoth. Close to 5 charge. Yeah, there's 3 right here. There's 1 charge over there. They're all Charger Behemoths too, which I think take a lot more to kill. Wilbur, leave me alone. Charger Behemoths are now a much tankier version of the Charger. They survive things that regular Chargers will normally die from. Some things are kind of the same, but not all. For example, a Charger Behemoth can survive an anti-tank to the forehead. A regular Charger can't. It dies in 1 hit. Charger Behemoth takes 2. This alone will make anti-tanks less desirable. Arc Thrower is now worthless. It takes you 12 if not more shots to kill a Charger Behemoth, and you can't choose where the arc goes, so it has to hit the face. If it misses, it'll take you even longer. And the railgun isn't in as worse of a spot. It takes you 3 shots to a Charger Behemoth leg versus 2 on a regular Charger, but the head takes you 11 or 12 shots up from 3. So we're not giving folks a reason to use different stuff versus the bugs. All we're doing is making Charger Behemoths tankier, and that doesn't encourage or incentivize people to try different stuff and experience variety and have fun. Making monsters bullet sponges isn't fun at all. And also, it doesn't encourage team play either, because you don't need a team, bro. You don't. And no, dude, if you're relying on your teammates to hit shots in the current state of the game, it's not ideal. Mission design should encourage team play. And just keep the game a horde shooter for now. Just keep that archetype. It's fun. What's not fun is when the enemies can aimbot you, basically every single one of them, so no one's missing and there's a horde of enemies, and you're a fragile dandelion. The last one of the season, getting destroyed. That does not feel fun, and that's why people aren't having as good of a time. The new patch will be well received because it is for once in the game's entire existence mostly positive, and that's good. I'm not taking away from that. That sounds kind of harsh, but it's true. Positive patch for the most part, but these changes were not well thought out because you're not considering the weak points or the break points of the things that you're adding and how it interacts with people and weapons. It's almost as if you're assuming that weapons are good against all things, and they're not. This is not Monster Hunter. It's not Dauntless. You can't just use anything you want and kill anything you want. Unfortunately. It'd be kind of fun if you could, but then just change the power dynamic. This is good at killing this. This can kill it, but not as good. For the most part. You could have more niche fields, but they have to be good. They have to be exceptional in that field if you're going to make it to where it can't do other stuff. And right now, that doesn't really feel as if that's the case for almost any weapons. Moving past that, we have the unintentional change. It is unintentional, thankfully. The recoilless rifle is not functioning in any way, shape, or form like it should. It takes you 2 shots to strip charger behemoth leg armor, whereas the Edict and Quasar only take 1. And these are all the same damage in a sense. They do the same damage, except now recoilless does less damage. Recoilless rifle also has a 25% increase reload speed. And that also goes for the reload cancel. Okay, slight correction. It seems that both the Edict and the recoilless rifle are a little inconsistent. Maybe the Quasar is not, but taking 2 anti-tank shots to strip leg armor is ridiculous, brother. In a raid format, I'd be down with it. In a mission that had maybe phases, I'd be down with it. But for regular just Joe Schmo chilling playing the game, I don't think it's wise. Bots, for sure, are more accurate. Even the bugs. The hunters are not missing. They jump, they don't miss. It's not enjoyable playing a game where we're glass cannons, minus the cannon, and emphasis on the glass. I think it's about time we either got rid of bullet flinch or nerfed it heavily. It doesn't make any sense that we have these swaying reticles, which is kind of fun to use. I like that aspect. But on top of that, we also have the ability to get bullet flinched at a moment's notice. And then we get bullet flinched, and it takes time for our reticle to go back to where it was. And then we have to sit there and figure out where it is before we shoot to hit a decent shot to kill things. That's getting ridiculous considering how accurate the enemies just got with the recent patch because of the tightening of their spread. I'm almost certain that that had the unintended effect of making them far more accurate. Because I've never been headshot by rockets as consistently. I've never been gunned down by all the automatons, every single version of automaton. So there's bugs. I'm not going to really harp on the bugs too much, but apparently the packing methodology, the ship module upgrade that lets us get full support ammo reload when we resupply, is broken. And it is broken. With the autocannon, you don't get back your full stuff. I think for some weapons, for primary weapons you do, which is kind of cool. For flamethrower, you might, but for some weapons it's not working. That includes the spear, that includes autocannon, that includes a couple of things. And that's not great. And I wouldn't mind it, but right now, man, I just don't feel... I'm not having fun playing the game because of how patrols are busted. Have I talked about that? Maybe not. Yeah, patrols are definitely working. The patrols ignore you like they used to, which is cool. Like, they don't just pinpoint your location as much. But the amount of patrols is worse than ever. And that might just be a combination of the gunships versus the bots, and then maybe the shriekers versus the bugs. It don't feel good, man. And it's not fun trying to use a newly buffed HMG that only has 75 rounds still, and you're trying to kill 5 gunships, or even just 2 gunships that will spawn unbeknownst to you, right on top of you, because the distance that things spawn at doesn't really take into account verticality. So it can spawn quite literally above your head, rocket barrage you, and you're dead. Bars. That's not fun, dude. That's not a good time. I don't think the gunship should be a patrol. Make missions more difficult and challenging, and I could see a reason to have this stuff be the way it is. I could see a reason to have chargers be tankier, because you're going into a mission with people that you assume are aware of what's going on. But right now, we're playing the exact same missions, and you're making things bullet sponges. You're just adding more stuff to shoot at, while also reducing our effective ammunition across the board in many cases, or just not making support weapons feel as though they can handle the odds. Heavy machine guns should not have 2 reloads and only 75 rounds. That doesn't make any sense. I don't care what real life dictates. Nobody really cares. The folks that do care have got to stop caring. It will only hold your game back. You make it look like a heavy machine gun, and it does, and you make it feel fun to play, which it's not. Not realistically, especially not with the current functionality of the game. And it's just strange, man. And all these changes do is encourage people to not even fight anything. You just run. Just run from everything. Just run from every single fight. You'll outrun them, especially with the new booster. and Bob's your uncle or auntie, you win. Because why would you want to shoot back at things that are going to be hitting you constantly, making you flinch, almost killing you, when you can instead hide behind cover and run and create distance, and eventually they go away. That is what this is. That's what this game is currently encouraging, and they don't realize that. And that's why Helldive will always be easy to beat, but will it be fun to beat? Why not make it fun? You can make it challenging and fun. Right now, you're just making it unfun and arbitrarily difficult. And these changes don't make any sense. The buffs are cool. I want to reiterate, like a lot of the changes that were made to buff things were cool. They were very well thought out. I had no idea that adding heavy armor pin would make strafing run feel so much better, or Gatling barrage feel so much better. That's awesome. Now I will say it'd be wise to buff support weapons that aren't being used as much to be more fun to use, because that's the main bread and butter. The thing that folks use the most, would be support weapons. Sure, they're using 500 kgs and all this stuff, but those have cooldowns. What doesn't have a cooldown is your support weapon, and that is more powerful than your primary. Some aren't more powerful than the Instant Breaker or Jar, which is hilarious. Don't nerf those. But support weapons are the main bread, brother. That's where the majority of fun will come from, because that's what you're playing the game with most of the time. Adding the double barrel shotgun and making it have higher armor pin would be hilariously fun. Making the heavy machine gun have more ammo, more fun. Arc thrower can hit more enemies. That alone would be an okay change. It'd be more fun. It can just chain to more enemies. And it would still be horrible versus charger behemoths, but at least it would be a little bit more fun for the folks that want to use it. It wouldn't be more fun for everyone just because of the charger behemoths being the way they are. So that kind of sucks. Railgun, maybe piercing enemies a little bit. Mostly the chaff. That'd be more fun. So many ways to make support weapons more interesting, more engaging, with slight buffs that don't really give it crazy power creep. Handling reload speeds. Because right now, a close rifle is not worth using because the damage is lower. But even before that, if it was just the reload speed being slower, I would never use it. I'm not using a weapon that takes 8 seconds to reload, unless it's just somehow the most powerful thing in the game. I refuse. That is horrible. And again, that's unintentional. That's what they say. So we'll see. But yeah, man, new patch is cool on paper, but when you actually play the game and you think about it, it's not very fun. And that's by design. So there's still work to do. I think it's a positive patch, but they still have to figure out what makes their game enjoyable. And I think that they're close, I would hope, but they're still missing the mark. At least for me. Because what's fun about Helldivers is the creativity and trying to find different ways to solve problems, as Pyle said at the Nordic Games conference. But this game is sort of removing that creativity when you only give X amount of solutions to handle different situations. And that's not what makes the game fun, brother. Not one bit. So you gotta really look into the weak points of monsters, maybe add some for the bugs that are more meaningful to give more options for variety, so folks can try different stuff and have fun. The goal should be to make it so people can use different things and experience success, and then after that, make the missions themselves challenging. Or, like, some of the hardest missions are kind of cheesy, but some of the hardest missions would be things such as the defense one, where you have the generators that can break. That's hard because keeping them alive is tough. Same thing goes for the drill. So you can experiment with that and make it so folks have to defend against hordes that are breaching a tunnel or something. And then you have maybe a 4-man split up of sorts, where you go across the map and each person has a task they have to do, and it has to be done around the same time frame or it doesn't work out. At a certain point, it'll get annoying because it'll be super challenging and folks may not like it, but that's what you have to do. Making enemies tankier, folks also won't like, and that's just not as fun. But, yeah, that's all I gotta say. Anyway, thanks for watching. Have a good day. Peace.